Hi everyone, so now I'm going to show you the template that I want you to use for assignment B. Remember I had said before that you're going to be using a template to complete this assignment, so I don't expect you to write anything outside of filling out this document, in a similar fashion to what you did for assignment A. So you'll see at the top it says assignment B, written language analysis project. I want you to fill in your name. The native language of the student is Spanish. And that's for all students. So Spanish is what your ELL speaks. And copy and paste the transcript of your sample into the box. If you cannot copy and paste, so by copy and paste I mean as a picture, right? So you would select the text in a picture-like format and then paste as a picture. If that doesn't work, you can also just type it in. Remember, if you type in your written sample, you want to leave the spelling errors and any other sort of errors that you see intact, okay? Because that actually might play into syntax or morphology or sort of other errors that you might use for this assignment. Okay, so the first part is morphology. You'll see part A. Remember, part A has everything to do with talking about the accomplishments and the errors. So you'll see that I'm asking you to provide me with 5 examples of morphology accomplishments. And remember that the directions are given above every single section. Okay, so if you read the directions and you complete the table in that format, you shouldn't have a problem. Okay, so you would list the example of the accomplishments and you would describe why these are accomplishments. In a very similar way that we've been doing in every PowerPoint, okay? In every, after morphology, syntax, and semantics, I went through an example with you at the end of the PowerPoint, talking about how you can find accomplishments and how you can find challenges, and then how you would talk about them. Remember also that there are examples of how that's done, right? If you go back into the PowerPoint and see those. Okay, so you would list the accomplishment and then write a description of why this is correct, right? Why the student, this is featuring an accomplishment of morphology. How does it show the knowledge of morphology? Remember that I'm asking you to use your terminology, right? You should be using all of the terminology that I used at the end of each of those PowerPoints. Similar thing here, except now you're looking for challenges. I want you to find 3 challenges for morphology. I also want you to describe why there are challenges, again, using your terminology. Okay. So after you have figured out 3 challenges, I want you to choose and highlight one of the examples that you're going to expand upon in part B. Okay. So part B is all about talking about the language theory that is at play that seems to explain why the student made the mistake. So the first thing that you're going to do is give me the standard US language rule that was violated in the error, right? So I'm going to use the example of table again, where the student was supposed to write tables with an S. So we know that this is a morphology error. So I want to go find the language rule that was broken. Remember your Parrot textbook, that blue textbook that you used for assignment C. That book will definitely have the language rule for each of these different types of grammar features. Okay. I also have a list of websites that you can go and visit to get this information, and that's under assignment B, under the assignment B, where you find all the different documents for this assignment. So you're going to write out your language rule, provide a citation for it. You're going to tell me if you think this error is due to L1 transfer or L2 development. Remember, we talked about that before. Explain why you selected what you selected. I also want you to list the theory and or the theorist that supports your opinion. Obviously, if it's the theorist, I would need a theory with that, right? So if it's Cummins, it could be Cummins' common underlying hypothesis, okay? And again, refer to the references that I provide you in Blackboard. So if you remember that table with all of the theories and the theorists and the references, that is there to help you with this section. Then I want you to describe why this theory and the theorist is relevant for the language error. So here you are explaining the theory itself, and you're telling me how it applies to the error that you've chosen. Okay, and then the last thing you want to do is list 2 citations that support that information that you just put, right? So obviously you're not sort of providing that information on your own. You've gone and read a citation, you've gone and read articles that have that information that you are summarizing here in your own words. And I want you to provide the citations where you get that from. Remember, it has to be a minimum of 2. Okay, so the next part would be syntax. And this follows the same sort of order as morphology, right? So part A, you give me 5 accomplishments, you describe them. And then you give me 3 challenges, you describe them. Of the 3 challenges, you highlight 1. Then you go to part B, which is again all about giving the English language rule, telling me which error type it is, explaining that error, providing me the theory and the theorist, describing why that theory is relevant to explain the error, and then give me the citations. Okay? You would do the same thing again for semantics. So remember, I'm looking for 5 accomplishments for morphology, syntax, and semantics, right? Which you can see in part A. Then you have to find 3 challenges of those same systems. And then complete part B by choosing one of those challenges that you've selected for each system and providing sort of more detailed information using a theory that you've read under the assignment B collection. Okay, I've given you a section at the end where you can list the references, any additional references that you use. I also provide you with the rubric, again, even though that is available in the guidelines for you. So what you would do is, after completing this document, right, entitled template, you would save this in your own name. And this is the document that you would upload for assignment B.